All right, welcome back for round one of our cube draft here. Looks like we're going to be on the play. So let's see what we get here. All right, this is a pretty good hand. We've got a couple of removal spells. We've got some mana fixing to cast those removal spells. We can actually curve Dreadbore into Shriekmaw, Evoked into Liliana's Reaver. So we'll see how that goes. So we would like to mulligan. We'll see what our opponent has here. See if they want a mulligan. So, we're gonna lead. We'll lead with the Crumbling Necropolis, because it's gonna come into play tapped. That'll give us access to all three of the colors in our deck. I mean, even though we only have a couple of cards of the other colors, it's still important that we actually have access to it early. If our opponent's on any sort of aggressive deck, I feel like we have a pretty good start against that, especially with the amount of removal we have into a creature that's very difficult to attack into, and then very difficult to block. So we'll see how we can. All right, so our opponent did mulligan, so we're just going to lead with that. All right, let's see what our opponent's up to. So. Alright, we got a swamp. Odd. Another black deck. So we'll see what he's doing. So we're going to play, since we're not worried about, we have a Disfigure if he tries to play a creature, and Dreadbore is a sorcery. So we're going to play this, because since it comes into play tapped, and that way that'll let us get our Blood Crypt next turn if we need it, or we can always just get a swamp. So we still are in pretty good shape here. So see, now that we have this Disfigure, we could kill this Bloodghast. I don't really see a whole lot of reason to do that. Our opponent's just going to landfall it back next turn. Although if he does, it's not going to have haste, so that buys us a turn to get into the room. So yeah, and it's also not very likely that we'll get another opportunity to kill something with that Disfigure. So we'll go ahead and kill it. So what we would like to draw here would be like our Drolf's Messenger or our Phyrexian Arena. Well, that's pretty good. So we're still fine here. We don't have any reason to cast anything. We'll fetch out our Blood Crypt at the end of the turn, and that way we can fetch it out tapped. So I wonder if this is the guy that took our Obliterator. At least we know he doesn't have Swords to Plowshares, because we have it. Stupor. Well, that's an interesting card. Okay. Alright, so we got our Shriekmaw. We're fine with that. I really don't want to discard this Grave Titan, because we don't... I think discarding the Dreadbore is probably fine here. We're about to cast the Liliana's Reaver, which is going to keep this at bay, and we can start getting in. So I think we're going to discard the Dreadbore. No, I'm going to discard the Grave Titan, because if we draw Living Death, that's going to be ridiculous. And then we're going to crack this Rocky Tar Pit to go get our Blood Crypt at the end of turn, so we don't have to pay life for it. And that way we don't draw it later and want to shock ourselves. So just conserving life total here. And because we did see it Vindicate, we don't want to get blown out by him Vindicating or Crumbling Necropolis. So we want to go ahead and get the Blood Crypt. It appears our opponent is double queuing, so we're going to have a little bit of delay in his actions, unfortunately. So hopefully it won't be too bad, but it is going to make for a longer video. So I apologize for that. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and crack this now. So Blood Crypt. Would you like to pay 2 life? Nope. And then we'll have 6. So opponents who double queue make it very difficult for people who are trying to record videos, but it is what it is. So we're going to hide this island for now. So we're going to go ahead and play this Liliana's Reaver. Hope that our opponent doesn't have a removal spell for it. Hopefully we'll start getting back some zombies next turn and make our opponent start discarding some cards. So, I'm still not sure about this guy. So that's fine, because Bloodghast can't block. So he's going to get to draw a card, but then he'll immediately have to, if he blocks, which he probably will. We could always Dreadbore the Solemn, which will allow us to get in and make him discard the card. That might actually be the best play, depending on what we draw here. So we'll see. I was kind of hoping we draw Living Death there. That would have been a huge super blowout with us having the Shriekmaw. Well, no, the Shriekmaw can't destroy the Grave Titan. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and Dreadbore this. We'll let our opponent draw a card, which we are then immediately going to make him discard. So attack for, and we get a zombie token out of the deal, so that's pretty good. He discards a Mesmeric Fiend. We'll play Swamp, and we will pass the turn. I don't know why our opponent didn't attack with the... Oh, yeah, never mind. We would have blocked with the Reaver. So we'll probably get attacked with a Bloodghast this turn, but we're perfectly fine with that. What do we got here? Elspeth. Cloudgoat Ranger. Interesting. Alright, so he's got a lot of blockers for the Reaver now. Well, that is an interesting card to draw, isn't it? So we could copy Mr. Cloudgoat Ranger here. And get our own Kithkin tokens. If we attack, he could triple block with the Kithkin soldiers. He could block with the Cloudgoat Ranger. I don't think he would do that. He's most likely just going to chump block with the soldiers. Let's find out. So we're going to attack. We could attack with the zombie token, but at that point he's probably just going to block with the Cloudgoat Ranger, whereas the zombie token will help hold the Kithkin at bay. So, or trade for the Bloodghast. So he dismembered it. Okay, he took a lot of damage to do that though. So we're going to cast this with our lovely blue mana here. We're going to copy this Cloudgoat Ranger. Phyrexian Metamorph is one of my favorite cards ever printed. It is just such a useful card. So, a Grim Monolith. Interesting. Well, that would have been nice to copy, but we don't have a Griselbrand, so it would have been less relevant. Okay, so we're drawing a lot of swamps, or drawing a lot of lands, but we are playing 18 lands, so that's understandable. I think we're fine to just play kind of defensive here, especially with our opponent having 2 cards and a lot of mana open. I think we probably have a lot of better bombs to draw into in this situation. That's interesting. This could get really bad. So he's going to put himself to 10, but he's probably getting something that is very good for him. We're probably about to find out what it is. An enemy dead. What is he targeting? We have no way to respond to that, so it looks like he's targeting the Liliana's Reaver. No, okay, so he is targeting the Grave Titan. That figures. So he's the one that ended up with our animate dead. Well, this is really bad. That was an interesting card to draw. Especially because we can hard cast it, so. Okay, so we can block the Grave Titan with the Cloud Goat, the zombie token, and then pump the Cloud Goat Ranger. He's gonna get some more zombies. We could really use a Living Death right now, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to declare blockers. We'll put actually we can block with a Kithkin and a Cloud Goat Ranger. We can block a zombie with a zombie. I like how the zombie tokens are different based on the card that makes them. And then we can double block another zombie. So this is still really bad for us, but we'll see if we can come out of this alive. If we draw Living Death, we're still in really good shape, so I'm not super concerned, especially because all these are, so we'll get our Phyrexian Metamorph back if that occurs. Okay, so we'll move to damage. Everything's going to trade there. Okay, the Animate Dead is going to go away. Bitter Blossom we're okay with. I think we want a Spinning Darkness, this Cloud Goat Ranger. No, we don't, because if we draw Enemy Dead, or Living Death, we want it to be alive. Wow. Sometimes you just get lucky. So we're not going to get the Metamorph back, which is fine. There's no targets for the Shriekmaw, which is also fine. He's going to get our Spinning Death. We can actually cast this. So I think we're going to cast this, targeting the Solemn. And then his Mesmeric Fiend will whiff. So with our opponent having this Bitter Blossom out, and us having a lot of really good creatures, we may be in pretty good shape here. So Moto acts really weird when you expand out the window there. So all right, so we have a very large fighting force that we're going to attack with next turn. Bloodline Keeper is fine. Our opponent cannot kill our Grave Titan, and that's what's very important. Because again, Bloodghast cannot block. So and we're at 21 lives, so we're not really worried about an attack back here. So our opponent's going to take 5 and go to 4. We're going to play this Baleful Strix, which will keep his Bloodline Keeper at bay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play that, and we'll go ahead and level it up. So next turn we'll be able to level that up, which will allow us to kill the vampires, the zombies, all of the things that I'm sorry, the vampires, the rogues that he's making. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape this game. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So we're going to board in our Relic of Progenitus to beat that Animate Dead that we see. We're going to keep in the Ratchet Bomb. We didn't really see anything that would make us want a Blightning. All the rest of this, we'll board out. For the Ratchet Bomb, we will board out. The Spinning Darkness is not super great. He doesn't have a whole lot of targets for it. So I think we'll board that out for the Ratchet Bomb. This Ratchet Bomb will allow us to blow up Animate Deads and Bitter Blossoms and anything else that he's trying to beat us with that are enchantments. So we'll see what he does, and I will see you back for game 2.